We are working on the 6.6 New Holland made in Brazil diesel. Diesel and Mr. Stanley Crud. Taking off the stickers because I took off the hood scoops. The plastic made in who knows where hood scoops. They are gone. So I've got a few questions regarding this T-Ruck. I'm working on the 409 as well once it's up in the air on my hoist. Excuse me, Mr. Crud. This tire has worn out severely on the outside, which means I got a serious alignment issue. I'm not sure if you can capture it so much in the single lens camera, but how do you align a solid front axle? Bend it with a giant 2 million ton press, chain it and bend it and hope for the best, because this tire in 3,000 miles is worn halfway down on the outside. The inside's still got a lot of tread and the outside doesn't, so that's not a good thing. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all this stuff. Air cleaner box. Mr. Nick ordered me a new air filter from eBay with a dent in it for 12 bucks or $16 including shipping. So to get this hose off right there, you've got to take off the alternator bracket, the air cleaner, and the upper radiator hose, and a couple of nice petrified heater hoses. Boy, these are rock hard. I may regret taking these off. Something about living in the Tucson desert or Sacramento where this thing came from. So what else did I want to ask you? I guess these are fuel filters, huh? These are Wix fuel filters, number 33195. So if those are fuel filters, what's this filter back here? Is that just a drain separator? There's no filter inside? I also am going to order an oil filter to change the engine oil, because I think it's time to change the engine oil. And the engine oil filter is somewhere. What's this big can here? It says Ford script on it. It's got a radiator hose going to it also. I wonder what shape that hose is in. Maybe it's time to change all the hoses. Oh, there's the oil filter. 51754. Looks like a Wix filter too. 51754. So, curiously, these bolts are rusted that hold the turbo to the exhaust manifold. Pretty rusty for a California truck. It's been converted to 134, and who needs air conditioning? It'll probably never be 70 degrees again. It's already September 2nd. So maybe I should change this hose once I'm in the neighborhood. And what other hoses are there? That's an air conditioning hose, air conditioning. Coolant is low because I got a minor leak. And greased my steering shaft, greased everything here. Lots of wiring. This is a 91. Imagine a new car. Oh, I got a warning light on the dash just now, first time. It said, let's see what it said. It was right here. It said, brake electric motor. There. It wouldn't go off. Does that mean my electric motor for my emergency brake is failing, or needs oil, or needs to be tapped? Is that the motor right there? Looks like it has a made in Portugal relay. So how does that work? I guess it runs a pump and puts pressure into the brakes to engage the emergency brake. Kinds of little things here I'm learning about. Learn. And there's a little vacuum can there, and there's a port with no hose on it. What does that do? Wonder where that hose went. No idea. What else is there to service on this? Is there a separator, diaphragm valve, a CRD? I don't know. The belts are not too tight. That's a good thing. I'm going to put the stethoscope on the idlers. Maybe take the belt off and hear how my idlers sound. Maybe I can take them apart and grease them, or maybe I can't, but those are a failure point. Got an idler there too, with a couple of washers. Interesting. Live and learn, huh? How you doing there, Mr. Crud? Oh, look. The hood scoops are in the garbage. Junk.
the trick is you scrape it off and then you put a little more of that on it and it gets a little bit more.
Softens it as you go along, just goes down a little ways. So I got a spare piece of hose I found in one of the compartments. And it might be the hose that I need. 1.5 inch, 38 millimeter, made in USA Gates. So that might be what I need, but I think once I take this thing apart, who knows when it'll go back together. So, that's the scoop. On the T-Ruck, how do you align the front end? And how do you put air in the tires or check the tire pressure? I need a valve stem extension that turns 90 degrees. I can't get my tire pressure gauge in here. There's no valve cover. I can't get the gauge in there. Interesting, huh? These tires are 2 years old, not even. Already half worn out because I need a wheel alignment. I don't know if you shim it like on a Dana 44. I don't think so. No place for shims. I think you got to put it on a wheel alignment machine and chain it down and put a jack in there or crank it down or something. I'm sure there's some trucker guy that'll know better than I will. What am I doing on the 409? Wouldn't mind turning those sway bar links upside down so the stud goes up because they're hanging down. It looks kind of stupid. Now I got 5 lug nuts on that wheel. I've got 5 on this one now because I found lug nuts in my massive collection of junk that I bought at a dollar store many years ago. They've since closed up. But the guy had real lug nuts. Here they are right here. 4 for $1. 7/16 20 mag wheel with washer. And I couldn't get these in Palm Springs. They wanted $1 each, and I paid $1 for these 4, so I bought a few cases, a whole shopping cart actually. So I've got to pull this wheel off because we stripped this one slightly. And I have a thread file. I can dress that with a thread file. So I'll go and get it and I'll show you how that works. So these are thread files, and something you got to have in your toolbox if you think you're a mechanic. They've got 4 sizes on either end, a total of 8 thread sizes. And this one's 1.00, 0.75, 1.25, 1.53. I don't know what that means. But what I do know is these are metric 20. Oh, these are thread count per inch. 12 threads per inch, 16 threads per inch, 20 something, can't read it, 32, maybe 28. And what you do is you run these over the threads. Once you find the exact right size, you memorize the size, otherwise you'll forget which side you're using. They come in 3 different sticks. I think they're $15 or $20 for all 3. You run them over the threads very carefully, and it'll restore the threads, taking away the imperfections or the burrs or the damage to the threads. Just like this. Kind of like filing a chainsaw. Once you find the right thread count. And this one should be, is it 7/16 by how many? 7/16 20. 20 threads per inch. So in that case we know it's 20. We just find with our dim eyes the 20 count, which is right there. And you rub this 21 over the threads, keeping it perfectly lined up to the angle of the threads, and your threads will be restored. Thread file restorers, very good to have. So that's my job. That's my car. And I was on one of the forums this morning. Instead of coming to work, I was on the 409 forum, 348-409.com. I was reading a post that I put on in February 2015. And it said, I want to buy a 409 real bad. And some guy said, when this car comes out of storage, it'll be up for sale. It's a 62 Impala. It had a 348 instead of a 409. It had a 348 and a turbo 350. He put in a 409 from a Chris Craft boat in a Tremec 5-speed. I said, wait a second, that sounds awfully familiar. Look at the pictures carefully. It's the car that I bought. Crazy things happen. Look at that, Mr. Crud. You're worth your weight in crud. Now I got to have you wax it to bring out the shine.
I definitely need something done because
I know.
I'm messing it up.
It's all abraded, yeah. No polishing compound. Yeah, it's, well, no pain, no gain. The clear coat's peeling off from the hot desert sun. Well, that's the scoop. That's what we've been doing here. Playing around with my Ford truck. Things to discover, things to know. Ontario. Maybe I'll put some more grease on it. And I'm going to work on the 409 a little bit. Then I'm going to take off the thermostat block, and maybe I should get a new thermostat just for shoots and googles. It's nice having it up on a partial lift. Too bad I got other things that are more important to do. I got seat extension brackets I put in. I made plates to move the seat back 5 inches, and to be honest, I moved it back too far. That worked out really well. You could hardly even see it. I'll paint it black. even see it. Just two little bolts sticking through the carpet. That was fun. The sun's going down. Shades of fall are in the air. Can't stand it.